What's up, guys? Kettlebell Carnivore here, coming to you for day 5 of 30 of our at-home kettlebell workout challenge. So I thought I'd get outside today. The sun broke here in Seattle. Get a little vitamin D on the skin. Apologize if it's a little loud, but the gyms are closed right now, and this is where I'm going to work out today, the front of my house. So a couple things about today's workout. There's some slightly more complex movements in it. So I'm gonna go over some different ways to modify depending on our skill level. Also, I'm going to show you how you could do this same workout with a pair of dumbbells, just in case if you do not own any kettlebells. Also, guys, just keep this mantra going during this tough time right now. No excuses. Let's make sure that we get our work in every day, or close to every day. I don't expect anyone to work out 7 days a week. So, take a rest day as you need. Listen to your body. Stay hydrated and stay fueled with some healthy foods. Okay, here we go, guys. First part of the workout today is going to be a superset of double kettlebell snatch with the press for 5 directly into double kettlebell clean. So after you go 5 snatch and press, 10 cleans, you rest 60 seconds, and then we're going to repeat that for a total of 4 rounds. So I'm just going to show you the movements, and then I'll talk about some modifications and some of the nuances. So I got my 2 kettlebells. I want to remember to get those shoulders down. I'm going to focus on that hike to the inner thighs here, and then big hip drive, high elbows, rotate, punch aggressively. So it's going to look something like this here. And then I'm going to press right back down. Press. Big hip drive, strong punch at the top. That's our double kettlebell snatch with a press. Now let's go with, let me show you how to do that with the dumbbells. So I have 2 dumbbells here. I'm going to do the same type of movement. Keep that torso tall, focus on that hinge from the hip, and then big drive and punch. So it's going to look kind of like this here. Hip drive, punch. So I'm keeping those dumbbells high on the thighs as I work through. Oh, sorry, I forgot the press in there. So it'll look kind of like this. Drive, press, and then right back to the next rep. So that's how we can do it with the dumbbells if we don't have kettlebells. If that's a pretty challenging movement, especially if you've never done it. So we could always modify to one side at a time. So it's a little easier to manage one at a time. So that might look like this here. I'll press, and then I'll bring it back down. So we can do that same thing with the dumbbell. If we're gonna do one at a time, let's do 5 on each side before moving into the cleans. So the cleans, some similar movement patterns here. We're gonna keep those bells high on the thighs, big hip drive. But now I'm going to keep those elbows kind of low as I pull them back, rotate, and punch across the body to receive those kettlebells in the rack. So it's going to look kind of like this here. Set my back, hip drive, like so, high on the thighs. Now I want to get that quick turnover. Let's see what that looks like with the dumbbells. I'll take my 2 dumbbells, hip drive, right to that front rack. So as you work through those, you really want to focus on that hip drive, keeping that core tight, squeezing the glutes. All right, guys, have some fun with the second part of today's workout. So this is a 3-part workout, by the way. So we just talked about the first part, which included essentially 2 different movements. Now we're going to go to part 2 here. We're also going to work through 4 sets here of Romanian deadlift with a row built into it. We're going to do 5 of those directly into a swing with a high pull. So to try to get that upper back, the back of the shoulders. Throughout all these movements here, we're going to be getting lots of core work, a little bit of hamstrings in there. So let's first talk about the Romanian deadlift. So I'll take my 2 kettlebells. Even if I'm just picking them up to get ready for my movement, always think about your technique, your deadlift technique. So I want to set my back, keep everything nice and tight. For these Romanian deadlifts, something that's super important here is squeezing those shoulders back, keeping your back flat, and only going as far as your range of motion allows. So I'm going to soften the knees a little bit. I'm going to keep these bells close to my body, focus on hinging from the hips as far as I can without rounding my back. I don't want to get here, but I want to keep it tight. I'm going to do 2 nice and solid rows. 1, 2, straighten those arms back to the top, squeezing the glutes. I'm going to come right back down, find that end range. I should feel a good stretch in the hamstrings, and then 2 more rows, just like so. So that's our first movement there. We're going to do 5 of those directly into a double swing with the high pull. So again, I'm not going to demonstrate the dumbbell version of the Romanian deadlift with the row, but you can see how it's pretty simple to just sub that in with dumbbells. I will show you with the swing though. So the swing, I'll take my 2 bells. I'm going to hike them just like we did with that kettlebell snatch today. Big hip drive, but then I'm just going to pull the elbows to here and then right back down. So it's going to look kind of like this. And we're going to do 5 of these. Here, big drive, pull, pull, and then right back down. So if I'm doing those with dumbbells, it's going to be a little different today. I'm going to have to hold them like this. I'm going to come in, here, pull. Just like so. So pretty similar, just slightly different there. We're going to do 5 of those, and then we're going to rest 60 seconds, repeat that couplet. So that's our second part of the workout, third and final part of today's workout. So again, we're going 4 sets here. We have 2 different movements. First one is going to be double front rack goblet squat. So I'm going to take my 2 kettlebells here, hike them up into my rack position, and then I want to set my squat stance so about shoulder width apart with my feet, toes slightly out, chest tall, nice deep squat, squeeze the glutes to come up, right back down. Just like so. If I have dumbbells only available to me, I'll take those dumbbells, I'm going to hold them forward like so, same thing, nice deep squat. Couple things here. The squat could be challenging for some of us if we don't have the flexibility or we're new to it. So we can modify this by simply using no weights. So that would just be here. Range of motion is everything. So if I need to get rid of the weights to get a better range of motion at first, let's train it that way. Or I could take 1 bell, dumbbell or kettlebell, I could hold it upside down and I could squat with it here. A little less to have to focus on and worry about. This kind of depends on where you're at with the skill. So from the squat, we're going to go directly into 10 lunges. So I'm on uneven ground here, so it's going to be a little tricky, but I'm going to do what I can with what I have available to me. So the big trick here with these lunges is I'm going to have 1 bell here, 1 bell overhead. So it's going to look something like this. The one that's overhead, I want to make sure it's a weight that I can keep, where I can keep my arm nice and straight. I'm going to step forward into a lunge, get that back knee to touch, stand tall, bring that foot back. Switch sides, like so. After the 5th step, I'm going to switch what hand has the bell overhead and work through 5 more for a total of 10 steps. Again, just like with the lunge, I can hold 1 bell in the goblet position if I'm not comfortable here or if it's too much to stabilize, or I could do it simply with just body weight. So we're going to work through 4 sets of those, 10 squats straight into the 10 lunges, rest 60 seconds for 4 rounds, and that's going to conclude our 3-part workout today. So there's a lot going on here. Have some fun with it. Don't get too caught up in the details. Just make sure we're keeping that back flat. We're getting good ranges of motion. I hope you guys are enjoying these workouts. Tomorrow's day 6 of 30. Let's have some fun out there. Let's get our workouts in no matter where we have to do it. If it's in our basement, if it's on the side of our house, we just got to get that working. All right, have fun, guys.